Mimi is the group CEO and co-founder of African Communications Media, and she does wonderful work with storytelling, leadership, specifically with the Obama Foundation. Mimi, can you maybe share with us what's happening in your world?
Absolutely. Thank you, Casper. And hi, everyone. Nice to see you. So the work that we do in communications and public relations really helps our clients understand, well, first before a crisis, during a crisis, and post a crisis, how to communicate to their various stakeholder groups. And this crisis in particular has really brought to the forefront the fact that crises will happen. And so being in a position where, from a communication standpoint, you have prepared and scenario planned for that eventuality has become even more clear to our clients. But the one thing we keep talking about is messaging. And if you follow all of the stuff that's been coming through on the news, if you're a member of a number of WhatsApp groups, etc., messaging can really, either make or kill a brand in a moment of crisis. So, really having clear, concise, and consistent messaging across the board has been something that we've been recommending. And also not being afraid to communicate, even as you're busy putting together a more robust communications plan, just making sure that you're staying on people's radar and really communicating consistently. The other thing that we found that's been quite interesting over the last couple of weeks is language. I don't know if you remember that quote by Nelson Mandela where he says, that if you speak to people in their own language, you really tug at their heart. And a lot of the communications we've been seeing specifically in Africa has been in either English or French or Portuguese, and we're leaving out a huge amount of the population and stakeholders and audiences that we want to talk to because we're not talking to them in a language that they can understand. So we're currently working on a project with the World Health Organization where we can translate some of the communication that's coming out into indigenous languages so that people can really not feel left out of what's happening. Also, I think in terms from a thought leadership point of view, I think that this is a great time to actually pick your space. It doesn't have to be about just COVID-19, but what are you passionate about as a brand? Are you talking about women who are going to be one of the groups that are most affected by this crisis, especially women, households that are led by women? Youth, are you talking about mental health, which is obviously going to be a huge problem here as well? Digitizing education. So perhaps as a brand starting to think about where do you want to position yourself? What space, conversational space, do you want to start owning for yourself? And the very last thing, I think, one of our clients is Ethiopian Airlines. And I think that, you remember that they had a crash a couple of months ago, which was horrifying. But I think vulnerability as a brand and humanizing your brand is also extremely important. Sometimes as corporates, we want to put together, we want to kind of be in this bubble of corporateness. I can't find the right term to express it necessarily, but I think that a brand that is human, that is relatable, and one that is consistent in its humanity is one that people can relate to. I think Ethiopian Airlines has really shown that both in their previous crisis and now. And those are the four thoughts I think I'd bring to the forefront, sticking to Casper's 2 minutes exactly.
Mimi, thank you so much and lovely to see you.